here's something that I'm really excited about. So it's been kind of a daydream of mine for a while now. In my day job, I work in a factory and I operate a lot of cranes on a daily basis. And I've always thought, man, it would be so cool to have one in my shop. Completely unnecessary. So yeah, a few weeks ago I pulled the trigger and there it is. So crane, hoist, you can kind of use it interchangeably. The hoist is, I think, of it like the engine that drives the car. The crane is the car itself. So that's a hoist. The crane is like the bridge crane that it moves on. So if it's moving this way, that way. So that's just a hoist. I can move it around a little bit up there. So if I accidentally call it a crane, but yeah, it's a hoist. It's a VEVOR brand, VEVOR. They're all over Amazon. They get really good reviews, so that's what I went with. It's 1 metric ton. Now, I have no intention of lifting that. And in fact, I'm just going to get this out of the way. Just because I did this doesn't mean that it's a great idea to do. I'm doing it because I feel safe doing it and knowing my own limitations. I built a metal framework up above the rafters out of 2-inch square tubing. And so that's just like a big H frame that is up in the rafters, and then it goes across this way, and then that's mounted in the middle there to spread the weight out across that whole area back in there. Then I think with some common sense and never lifting more than a few hundred pounds, I think I should be good. I've played around with it a little bit. The only thing I've really noticed so far is that the hook itself is not heavy enough, so when I go down with it, it just kind of starts to unspool. So I usually grab it with my hand and put some weight on there when I'm spooling it down. It came with a couple of straps. I've tried picking up a few things. Let's take a look, because I got a lot of buddies at work who they've been asking, hey man, when can we see the crane you put in your shop? Let's pick something up with it. We'll start with this. It's an air compressor. So I don't know what this weighs, maybe 70 pounds. And pick it up myself, so seems like a good place to start. Yeah, I can just barely pick it up, so we'll start there. There were a lot of these that came with a wired dongle or controller. I really wanted a wireless one because it's going to feel like when I'm at work, and we've got all of ours are wireless. First we'll turn it on, and you can see the controller box is right there. It's just blinking. But when I start to interact with it, it will blink rapidly to show that I'm interacting with it. So we'll start just by turning it on. Okay, and then let's go down. Now it is really loud. Part of that's the motor, and also there's a fan in there that just goes full on to pull away any heat from the motor when it's in operation. So it's pretty loud. Something else I want to point out: when I do use it, it moves around a lot. I'm doing this all just with what I've got up here, and so I did what makes sense to me, because it came with these two big beefy U brackets that are meant to go like, you know, over, up, down. On a metal beam like what I've got, and I thought about possibly welding those in place rather than just having them go up and over the square tubing, but I want it to be able to move. If I'm picking up a load and the load is slightly not directly underneath it, then it's going to want to move a bit, and I want it to be able to move rather than if it's welded in place, it's going to take that movement and apply it as a twisting motion onto my framework up there. It seems like a better option to allow it to be able to rock side to side a little bit. So if you see it moving around up there, that's why. Okay, back to picking up the thing. Okay, so there we go. We're going through both of those, and let's go up. There we are. We're up. Yeah, other than just the purpose of lifting things, I think it would also be useful if, let's say there's something that I'm working on and I want to be able to manipulate it. Like if I'm doing welds and I want to be able to manipulate it easily and be up off the ground rather than working on the floor and having to crawl around, I could take whatever I'm working on, lift it up, and then easily manipulate it as I'm welding and working on it. So let's go down. So yeah, that's the crane. Let's just cut to the chase. There's one thing I really want to try, which is lifting myself. Again, just because I'm doing it does not mean any of this is a good idea. So what I'm thinking, because I do a lot of rock climbing, is that if I get my rock climbing harness, I should just be able to clip into the rock climbing harness in the same location that I clip in when I'm climbing, because that's also a metal connection point off at least the auto belays are a metal carabiner. That's a metal hook, same exact harness. So it was bound to happen when I bought this thing. So let me go get my climbing harness on. Okay, so I got the climbing harness on. I'm just gonna hook in right here, just right off of that. Oh, I'm actually gonna go get my climbing helmet. You know, safety first. All right, let's give this a shot. I'm gonna lower it all the way down so I can sit on the floor and then go up with it. So let's yeah. All right, here we go. Well, it seems to work pretty well. Yeah. Let's give it a. Can I even give myself a turn? All right, there we go. Let's go up a little bit more. All right, we hit the limit switch. That's this paddle right here. So that's as high as it'll go. Yeah. So that's the hoist I bought for the welding shop. We'll So I think I will, over the years, I think I'll definitely get a lot of actual use out of the thing. Like I was saying, just to lift up whatever work piece that I've got working on and be able to manipulate it easily. I will be very, very mindful about not lifting anything that I personally feel is too heavy. It is 1 metric ton, which that to me is too heavy. Like I'm not going to bring the slug bug in here and like lift the slug bug up, anything like that. But if I've got a work piece that I need to get up off the ground, I think it's going to be really, really handy to have that. Honestly, it was just kind of I'm not going to say childhood dream, but it was a dream to have this thing, and now that I've got it, I'm excited, and I wanted to show it off a little bit. So make sure to turn it off when you're done or you'll drain the batteries. So we're going to turn that off. And yeah, that's the hoist.